Welcome to the Billups Anchorage. I'm Patrick,
I'm Leta.
and the Billups Six are back again. We're excited because we have a very special guest with us today, Peyton Author. How you doing, Peyton?
I'm good, thank you.
I met Peyton. I was serving as a music teacher, and so she was in my class and just saw her thrive. Amazing singer, amazing performer. She'll talk a little bit more about who she is and what she loves. But those are the things that just jump out to me. Very nice, kind, amazing family with her mom and her sister and her dad. Actually has coached Micah. Y'all know Micah.
That's right.
In soccer, and so we've just been connected over the past couple years, and so we're gonna talk more about Peyton's story, but just excited to have her on, the Anchorage with us this morning.
Thank
Or
you.
whenever you're watching this, it might not be morning, but
I know it
we
could
rock
be like afternoon.
It could be.
It could be night.
Hopefully, you ate something by this time.
I hope so. Food is important.
Food is important. You said that's your love language.
And is?
I know. Peyton, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Can you tell us a little something about yourself?
Yes, well, I love doing theater and performing. As you said, I love my dogs. I have 4, and we just had 9 puppies.
9.
Yeah, 9.
Now, we talked about these dogs. One is Paddington.
Paddington, yes, that is the Daddy Doodle.
Can you name the others?
We have Sutton, the mommy doodle, and their babies are named after the books in the Bible.
Yes.
There's now I'm not. This is not in any particular order, but there is, well, except for Genesis and Exodus, and then those are the first 2, and then I'm gonna go out of order from here on.
It's all good. It's all good.
There's Deuter, Levi, for Leviticus, Obi for Obadiah. There's Ephesian, Roman. There is Psalm, and then the last one is Revelation.
Rebel.
Oh.
So, and we
That's
call
right.
it, yeah, we call it Revel.
Which I
That's
thought was
cute.
cool. But that was
Mhm.
cool.
Yes.
So, question: what are some of the hobbies that you like?
Well, I mean, I guess I enjoy reading. I really like swimming. And I just I I mean I enjoy just really doing anything nowadays. But I also really like just singing and like doing plays.
Yeah. Um,
That's good.
yes, singing, acting, all those things is what I remember shining bright in class.
Yeah.
Right, a little bit of sass, just a little bit.
I don't believe it. It's okay,
Appropriate
Peyton.
sass.
I do not believe it. It's fine.
But no, I think I would call it spunk.
I
Yeah,
think that's better.
spunk. That's the word I'm looking for. And
Spunky.
you owned it well and performed well, and always a great leader in class and building people up and encourage people. So just that's something that stands out to me as I think back over those years in class. How old are you, Peyton?
I'm 13.
13.
Wow.
What's exciting in the life of a 13-year-old?
Um, I mean, it's, I guess, the first year you're really considered a teenager.
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 So you had a major life change, right?
Oh,
During the time of these past couple years. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
yes. Um, a little over a year ago, I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Um, and it uh, basically took away my whole seventh grade year.
Wow.
Um, I was constantly in and out of the hospital. I would say more in than out, but um, I'm doing a lot better now. I'm really happy to be back in school for the most part for my eighth grade year. Definitely, I mean, at least I'm in school a lot more than I was last year, so I'm happy about that.
The snaps for that.
That is so
Mm.
good.
So with this diagnosis, did this happen like something that you saw it coming, or did it just kind of like blindside you? Or how did
It
it play
was
out?
a complete shock. It left us shocked, honestly, because a couple days before, I was out on the soccer field with Micah, and and we were playing in soccer games, and um, I did, we did notice I was kind of getting more out of breath,
Mhm.
um, and I would actually, which was not usually like me, I would actually start asking. I'd be like, I need to sit out. I need to be benched real quick. I need to get myself together. And of course, the coach, my dad, was like, okay, okay, that's fine. And so I go to the doctors, and uh, everything's fine. And uh, I get my flu shot. This is like the 27th of September. And then I go to school the next day, fine. And then uh but at as at the end of the school day, during gym class, a lot of classmates come up to me and they're like, "Peyton, you don't look good." They're like, "You look really pale." They're like, "You look sick. Are you good?" And I was just like, I mean, I didn't feel sick at the time yet. I was like, what are you talking about? I feel fine. And then it wasn't until then soccer practice started right after, and they were all, stretching, warming up, and I start to go run however much we needed to, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. So I go ahead and call my mom because I know she's gonna go pick up my sister soon. And when she comes, she's like, you don't look good." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what all my friends were saying." And um, so she takes me home, and I literally just fall asleep on the couch, which I never do. Like I literally got home and fell asleep on the couch for until the soccer practice ended,
Wow.
probably. And I was just super like groggy. And so the next morning, wake up and my sister's getting ready for school, and my mom's like, "Peyton, how are you feeling this morning? I know you weren't doing the best last night." And I'm like, "No." and my head's like covered. I'm in my pillows, and she's like, "Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go help Presley get ready." And I get out of my room to go to the bathroom, and my mom takes one look at my face, and she's like, "We're going to the doctor's." And I'm so glad we did because when we were there, they took my hemoglobin, and it was a 4.9, which meant I needed to go to the hospital like right away. And so um, we made our way to VCU. And by the way, this now is taking place my dad's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Um, we get to VCU, and of course, I'm scared because I was just at the doctor's the other day. They said I was fine, and um, I'm like, what is going on? Why do I need to go all the way to VCU? And um, I was just kind of sitting there in the ER for almost that whole day, basically. And finally, um, big group of people kind of walk in, and they're like, I see my mom and dad coming with this group, and their eyes are like completely red, like they were, like obviously I knew they had just been crying,
Mhm.
and I was like, what's wrong? And like just seeing their faces, I already was starting to tear up, and uh, one of like the it was either like a nurse or like a care partner is like, Peyton, you were just diagnosed with leukemia. Do you know what that is? And my mom always says, every time she tells this story, she says, I gave that person a death stare. I was like, yes, it's cancer. Um, like, yeah, I know it's cancer. And I was like, and then I just, of course, I started crying. I was like, I just got diagnosed with cancer. And that's kind of, yeah, on my dad's birthday, that was me getting diagnosed with cancer. So happy birthday, Dad.
Wow. I didn't know that it was his birthday.
Yeah.
That day, of course, we got the news at school, and all rallied around. Had so much orange throughout that place. So
Hmm.
orange was, you know, the
The
uh,
color of my ribbon. Yeah.
yeah, the color of your ribbon, and Pay Strong was the
Mhm.
hashtag, still is the
Mhm.
hashtag.
Absolutely.
And so we rocked that. I mean, I remember like soccer team had on orange. You
Yeah.
know, it
Mhm.
just went throughout the community. The support. Um, Question: in the life change that happened after the diagnosis, what were some major changes for you?
Um. Well, after the diagnosis, when I was able to every once in a while go out, I of course had to get back into like the masks and everything, and I was just so used to I just had like it was like we just got rid of masks and now you want me to it was like I had been what we it had been like what 2 3 years now we haven't been wearing masks again, and I'm like, and I have to put one back on now if I want to go out. But I mean, I did it because of course I didn't want to be stuck inside all day, and I listened to the rules and all that, but it was definitely hard. And then uh, seeing like my sister be able to go play and do things like I will admit I got really like jealous like being seeing like her be able to do normal things while I just had to like stay inside, and I was extremely sick and just fighting my own battles inside while she's off like having living her best life. It it really it really made me upset, but I mean, I was happy that of course, she was at least able to.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy that she can and that she's still having fun, and cuz I always I also that was another thing that um when I first got diagnosed, I was like, what about Presley? I was like, what's she gonna do? Because of course, that first night, my parents are like, oh my gosh, Peyton, like we need to stay and see what's going on. And so I'm like, so that's like one thing I just always feel so guilty when I go to the hospital. Of course, I know I can't help it. She knows I can't help it. But that's one thing I'll always feel a little guilty is like when I go to the hospital and then I know she can't there's always at least one parent that she can't like be spending time with, like, 'cause I always have at least somebody, usually my mom, but every once in a while they'll switch off, and so I know that has to be hard for her, definitely, because I mean she's only in fifth grade and she's very, I feel, mature, and she understands a lot that's going on, but it's still got to be hard. I feel like she's still super young, so.
Well, that big sister kicks on, and that's part of the conversation that I never even really thought about it. Of course, like us thinking about, what you're facing, what your family's facing. I never thought about the component of the big sister saying, "This is how this change affects my little sister." You know what I mean? And
Wow.
you bringing
Yeah.
that to the forefront. There were some things that were relatable. Of course, Anchorage, they were walking through the journey of MS.
Yeah.
I call it the journey to mobility with Leta, and some of the similarities in that conversation, like were there some things you could connect with that she was saying?
Oh, absolutely. I totally connect, especially where you have things you used to do, and then there's things that you can't quite do now, or you can't do it the same, or even like I don't have siblings,
Mhm.
so I don't understand that fully. But
Oh,
but
siblings that you grew up with in the house.
yes, I have. There's 8 of us, but I grew up by myself, and I do know I've watched Patrick and his life, and I feel like sometimes like you feel like I feel bad, like I feel like I'm pulling him away from what he could do. I feel like I'm sometimes like I'm hindering his experience, kind of like you were talking about your little sister, like taking your mom or dad with you because you need them with you. And I feel that way as well. So I can understand that. Like, it's like, Patrick, I need you with me, but I also know that you need to go there. I wish I could go there, but I can't. And that's hard.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like feeling kind of left out because I'm used to being able to get up and go with you. I'm used to being able to go hang out with my friends. Well, I can't do that right now. And I have to remind myself not to define myself by what I can't do anymore.
Right.
Wow.
So I get that.
So, in both of your journeys, people who knew you before and people who see you walk through it now, there are visible changes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they see your mobility change, whether you're on an arm,
Uh-huh.
or, they see the clip. Some of you might have seen the clip with Lita working with the babies, you know what I mean, with the walker, having to move around the house and get everything done. Um, they see the physical changes, right? They see, um, how you move different at school and those kind of things. Like, so when people see those changes, how do they normally respond, right? And what do you like about the responses? And what are some ways you can help them respond better to
Um, well, I think obviously patience is key.
you?
Um, and I'm very grateful because I feel um like at school especially, which is where I'm mostly using like my walker or any type like my walker or like my brace, and I might take a little extra longer to do things. So I'm very grateful that like my teachers and classmates are very patient, and they're also very willing to help. Though there are definitely people I've met, or like maybe when someone's not in the best of moods, like they could tend to, be a little less patient, which really it really is not the best when, like you already feel bad that uh you are taking it extra long. So then if someone like kind of uh puts you on the spot,
Hmm.
that's one thing I am like, that just shuts me down. I feel like for the rest of the day, like I just don't want to talk anymore when like I get like put on the spot like that. Like say a teacher's like, "Oh, what took you so long?" Or if they're like, what, like just kind of little things like that can really like they can change like your mood so quick.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So the baseline of that is like, I'm always trying. Is that the kind of like baseline?
Yeah.
Um, got it. So it can be assumed that even if I'm moving and not doing it up to the pace that someone would expect, it's not because I'm not trying.
Hmm.
It's because I have this limitation right now.
I can relate to that. Um, and it's like I am trying. I'm trying so hard, but to you it looks like I'm not. And it's kind of like I know a few years ago, um, I got this revelation where it's like the impatience. Well, I didn't know until now that it would apply to life right now, but the impatience showing, that's like someone on crutches and you're expecting them to run a race and you're mad that it's taking them so long to run it, but they have things to try to help them. They have to get there. It's not the same. They need the assistance.
Hmm.
Like for me, growing up, I ran track. I played basketball. And now I'm like, can I even pick up this child and stay stable? Can I walk across this room and stay stable? And so it's difficult. And and others who don't fully understand the journey, it they don't really show sometimes the patience necessary, the patience
Yeah,
needed.
definitely. I
Yeah,
agree.
There was one line that you said before. You said it was always Leta. You know what I mean?
that's
And
right.
we kind of conversations that we had in the house and different things is like the diagnosis doesn't define me. I'm always Leta.
That's right.
So like this happened to me, but it's not who I
Exactly.
am. So how do you feel like that plays into your life, Peyton? Like, do you feel like sometimes people, when they see Peyton, they see the diagnosis?
I do because there can be um now I can't say I have any uh like specific examples right now, but I know it's very common for people to um well, I mean, I've been a couple of times. I don't, like I said, still I don't have any like specific examples, but really when people underestimate what you can do also
Yeah.
is like uh that's it can be really hurtful because you're like um I might not be able to do this, but I can still do something.
Right.
And when somebody's just like, "Oh no, how about you just like sit over there?" but you're making it clear you want to help.
Mhm.
And then when someone just doesn't let you, that can just make you feel like, okay, well, I just feel useless now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I may not be able to do what I used to be able to do the way I did it, but
Right.
I'm still a contributor.
Yeah, definitely. Like
So
that's
I guess what would the question be like? How would someone know what you can do and what you can't?
well, you could ask, honestly. Just
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's the key word. Like
ask.
capital letters, bolded, maybe even underlined.
ask questions. And I mean, um uh, like I'm not opposed to answering them because I mean, if they're true, just like questions, just like uh out of curiosity
Mhm.
and just general questions like what do you think you'd like to do to help, or what do you think would be like okay for you to carry, what do you think,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
That's huge because I know like sometimes people see the changes on Lita's journey and they wouldn't ask Lita.
No.
But then like I turn the corner to get some coffee or whatever, and it's like all the questions come to me and I'm like, I mean, I know, but you may want to ask her.
I
You
don't
know,
mind.
it's her journey, it's her body, and at some points, I don't know what she's ready to share,
Right.
and what she's not ready to share.
Right.
So, you asking me about her, it could be better if you just go ask her.
That's true. That's true. Like it may be something that's difficult for me, but it is not something I am ashamed of.
Oh, that's real.
Right.
It's not who I am, but it's what I'm walking through, dealing with. And, you know, I don't want people to feel like they will offend me because you can't offend me with what I'm walking through.
Hmm.
You see it. Me too. You know?
I'm living it like
Exactly.
Ignoring it is not doing anything.
It's not doing a thing. It probably makes it worse if I were to ignore it.
It's real.
So it's like, don't avoid. I'm not, because I can't.
Let me ask this question: what's the biggest thing you've learned
Um,
through this journey?
um don't take things for granted.
Hmm.
um like um like uh my mom has mentioned, she thought when I was doing the new standard of care Blincyto chemo that when I had the leukoencephalopathy, and that she honestly had her last conversation with me. And um so of course, like um she would have never thought that she would have never thought that 5 years ago she would ever be thinking she was having her last conversation with me just being like 13 years, just turned 13. She would never have thought that. Like she wouldn't have even thought that like 3 years ago, honestly. Like, and that's just so crazy to believe. Um, so like you just can't take things for granted. Be happy that you're around people. Be happy that God gave you another day.
Mm.
Be happy that you get to just breathe. You get to breathe and all the world has to offer. Honestly.
That's
Be,
good.
That's real. I mean, let's pass that question. Like, what you learned through your journey?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm here with being grateful because I was actually thinking the other day, I never would have thought that I'd be in a place where you can't run. You can't. Now, granted, I don't like running. I don't. I don't like it. But I never thought I'd be in a place where I couldn't. I never thought I wouldn't be able to shoot a basketball because of the strength that I kind of was lacking, or even the ability to hit something spot on, like the target. I never thought that. And so be grateful and be thankful. And I am. I am. And I have to remind myself, you're all right. God's good.
Yeah.
And I say it all the time. He's always been good. He is good.
Hmm.
And he always will be good. It's like a never ending, it doesn't stop. And so that's what leads me. And also, not to allow what you're walking through to take over who you are. Don't let what you're walking through fog up other people because you're going through a story, but so are they. And no, a physical therapist. I remember I was one of one of my friends, one of my associates. They were going through something, and I was like, "Oh, this makes me so sad. I hate that she's going through that. I don't even want to talk about mine." And she stopped me, and she said, "No, your story is your story. Their story is their story. It's not a competition, and it's not."
Real.
And and so that is like what you're living is not a competition to someone else. What you're living is what you're living. It's your book. It's your book.
So it's wild because, like, as we, come to a close of this conversation, it's like, the Anchorage is about inspiring hope, building
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah.
Like, those are the two main things. And so when you think about looking at your journey, like, so many people were, and it's such an oxymoron. You know what I mean? Like, so many people are inspired by your journey, right? And you're
Absolutely.
like,
Mhm.
okay, this is weighty, right? But so many people are inspired and moved to gratitude for the things that they are able to do,
Mhm.
for the gratitude of the success in your journey so far, the joy that you have in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It challenges people who um, don't share the same journey, though we all are on a journey.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And some of
Mhm.
our journeys are visible, some of them are not visible, um, but it inspires them. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I see people who are like, they see us get out of the car. You know what I mean? And it takes us a little while to get inside, and they're like, "She's so happy." It's like, "Is she okay?" It's like, "Yeah, she's going through a journey. Like, she's so joyful. She's so happy." And then it makes them go, "Man, I can walk inside by myself, and I'm grumpy." And it just kind of like it makes them go, I got so much to be thankful for.
Yeah.
And so that conversation of gratefulness, and just want to let you guys know that your journey, both of you, is inspiring people, and inspiring hope in people, and your attitude to go through it and not let it like just totally weigh you down and be crushing is impactful. You know, if you had one more thing to say to the people, what would you say, Peyton?
Um, I would just say, like, just just be grateful. Yeah, I would say, be grateful. Um, ask questions and um just trust in God, I would say. That's like, because if it weren't for me putting my faith in God, I don't know if I would be where I'm at in my journey, because I feel like I've seen him move and do wonderful things in my life throughout this journey that I wouldn't have seen, say I never got this diagnosis. So I'm grateful. I've made new friends with similar stories. I've got to uh, have a lot more like opportunities doing things like this now,
Mhm.
and I am just thankful that I get to share my story, because I would love to be able to help people in any way, if like by sharing my story. So if that can help someone, I will do it. And so yeah.
That's awesome.
One last thing to say to the people.
I love y'all. No, but I was gonna say, be confident in who you are. Be comfortable in who you are. Don't compare yourself to what you see that looks cool, that looks better. Be who you are. Love who you are.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure there are other people who love who you are. And if they don't love who you are, that is so sad for them. Keep being who you are.
And it's so sad for them. So sad for
It's
them.
such a sad
So sad.
story they're living. Don't don't let that hinder you. Be you.
But when you said those three lines, we're gonna make some merch specifically um, associated with this particular conversation.
I agree.
And then
Oh
send
my
some
gosh, I was thinking
proceeds
the same thing.
your way to help with the medical journey. Is that all right?
Mhm.
So the merch will say those three things you said. You said trust God, ask
Mhm.
questions. No, 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 no. Be grateful.
Grateful, ask
No,
questions.
be grateful, ask questions, trust God, and then we'll throw a hashtag on that say pay strong.
Aw,
So we're gonna make that
That'd be
some
good.
merch and send the proceeds your way to
thank
help with the
you.
journey. But thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
We're
thank
we're
you.
thankful to have you in our circle, and we're gonna rock this thing out. Pay strong.
That's right.
All right. Um, listen, we love you guys, and thank you for being at the Billups Anchorage once again. Inspiring hope, building relationships, and so we'll see you soon.
Bye.